welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call car session video. I'm on the road, I want to talk covered calls. And hey, look, we're going to talk about time decay and how you can use it to your advantage to make those quick weekly cash printing machine paychecks. That's right, I'm going to talk about 2 trades that I've recently done. In fact, it was the only 2 trades that I did while I was on my recent 2-week European vacation. Hey, look, I'm making successful trade after successful trade. But see, that doesn't come without experience, doing my homework, pounding the YouTube videos, and learning this strategy. And that's why it's so important that you watch the videos, you open that small account, and you get the experience. I try to tell you cats all the time, the absolute #1 way you're going to get better or you're going to have the success that I talk about is if you experience it. Because look, this is the flat out truth. You do 1 trade, 2 trades, 5 trades, you become the expert. You don't need me or any other cat on YouTube. That's just the reality. Now, if you want to fine tune your game, now that's different. And that's the reason I love doing this channel, to motivate and inspire you to have that experience, to have the same success I am. Now, I will also tell you this strategy is one that you can have success and not do much heavy lifting. You can do it from your home office. You could do it when you're traveling. You can do it on your spare time, and it doesn't take that long. I'm going to tell you about 2 trades that I did last week where I was literally sitting there with my wife in Paris, drinking a beer, made 2 trades, knocked down $890 in less than 24 hours. But hey, look, before we get there, look, if you like what I'm doing here at the channel, I want you to subscribe to the channel. And look, if you like this video today, bang that like button because it lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now look, before I get to those trades, a lot of people hit me up in my email inbox about how they can make weekly money doing this. They want to try to do this like a business or creating that weekly extra cash income. Now you can do that, and I do it all the time. But here's the deal. You have to fine tune your game. So a lot of times we talk about the 30-day covered call or the 30-day cash secure put. That is the one where most people on YouTube and myself will use and talk about for a couple reasons. One, you get nice premiums, right? Remember the basic strategy. We own the shares. We're going to give somebody the right, but not the obligation to take those shares from us at a price we select for a time we select, and we're going to get paid for that. That premium, that money we're going to collect per share is the income we talk about. And look, the longer out, the longer you give somebody to make that decision, the higher the premium. Now, if you're going to play near-term covered calls or 1 week or 2 week covered calls, think about this for a minute. You're giving this person the right to buy your shares at a certain price, but you're only giving them 7 days or 14 days. So the premiums or that cash money they're going to pay us for that right is not going to be that much. So instead of collecting, let's say 80 cents, 90 cents, or $1 for some of the great S&P type companies we talk about, you're only going to get 30 and 40 and 50 cents for a 1 week or 2 week time period. So for me, I want to have that mindset that if I'm going to do weekly covered calls, I want to collect those crumbs, those juicy crumbs we always talk about, where if I'm able to collect $150 a week, $200 a week, and I can do that on 3 or 4 of my favorite stocks, hey, look, that $150 or $200 times 3 and 4 start to add up, and that becomes real spendable cash. And that's why I love doing the weekly covered call. Now, the one thing that I have talked to you about is I love writing covered calls, the weekly covered calls, where on the prior Thursday, I'll look to find my stock that I'm going to use. And what I like to do is look to sell the next Friday's expiration so I can generally get 50 cents or 60 cents, in some cases 80 cents for that approximate 9 to 10 day trade. Now, lately what I've been looking to do is use Wednesday with a that week expiration. Yes, 3 days or less, using time decay to my advantage and writing at the money covered calls or selling at the money cash secure puts. Now, again, I have to be comfortable with this because with the tighter time frame, there is a likelihood that one, my shares won't be taken away, which means I'm gonna own the stock. Well, when I bought the stock, I understood that I was going to own the stock. And that's one of the absolute major risks when you're writing covered calls. Now, selling cash secured puts is the opposite. If I'm gonna do a 3-day cash secured put, I better wanna own that stock, because if I'm gonna do an at the money cash secured put, man, if over the next couple days the market goes south, and hey, it can, I'll be stuck with those shares. Now, that doesn't mean I can't use an exit strategy to get out of both trades, but let's leave that for another video. Let's go with the very basic. We're gonna write that covered call where we're gonna buy the shares and we're gonna give somebody the right, but not the obligation to take those shares. And we're only gonna give them till Friday, and we're gonna pick the price. Again, I'm looking to pick up the crumb. And for me, again, I like to do it. I like to do it because it satisfies my rapid fire guy mentality that I always talk about. I have the patience of a great 30-day covered call writer, right? The guru. I have that patience, and I do many 30-day covered calls. But I also have that swing trade mentality that I talk to you folks about, where I like to rapid fire trade. And I don't know if I always make the best trade, but I love writing a covered call, letting the trade play out, and sometimes I'll buy that option back, right? I'll take that obligation off the board, and if I pocket some money, then hey, it adds to my totals. I'm happy. We look to do the next trade. I call it my Wednesday time decay trades, and that's what I did when I was in Paris with Win and Microsoft. Now look, what I want you to do, we're 6 months into this year, okay? We're 6 months in. And I want to ask you, where are you at? Have you opened that small account? Have you started to feel comfortable with the strategy? Have you changed your mindset where you'll buy the shares and you'll limit your upside by writing covered calls, but when you have your shares taken away, you consider it a win? Remember, I always tell you, one of the number one fears of covered call writers is having their shares taken away. And folks, that is a mindset for which you need to change, because if your shares are taken away, you made money. And if you did it right, you made anywhere between 3, 4, and 5% for the time frame. And look, that's cash on cash. I currently am beating my modest goal of $40,000. I'm already over $25,000 at the midway point. I have already knocked down 11.2%. That hasn't been with any heavy lifting. I mean, all I do is pick my favorite stocks, write the covered calls, and sell the cash secured puts. And here I am making cash on cash 11.2%. Look, God willing, I can do that the rest of the year. And in fact, I already have trades on the books for July, and I am now on pace to make that 22%. 22% in 1 year. And hey, look, if you think that's some sort of pie in the sky number, it's not. That 11% are booked. Hey, remember last year I made 18%. So the covered call strategy is one that I have found absolute success, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I hope you too are inspired and motivated to have the success that I am. But let's talk about those trades. The last Thursday of the vacation, we had a great opportunity to just sit back in the room. I had my laptop and I was going to make a trade. Now, let's talk about Win real quick. And I'm going to fold in my Amgen trade that I recently told you about to my current Win trade that happened. If you remember Amgen, I had done my due diligence. I wanted to own Amgen, and it had fallen to a point where I felt like it was an opportunity. And I was going to collect a dividend if I bought the stock, for which they paid $1.32 a share. I looked at it as a great opportunity to make a double premium, where I would collect a premium for the covered call plus the dividend capture, and I was going to make that 5% in that 30-day window. Well, I would not have traded Amgen had I not thought it was an opportunity. meaning it had sold off to the point where I might want to buy. I might want to have an entry point to buy. Well, that's what I did with Win. Win had fallen off. If you remember, Win got as high as 200 recently since Steve Wynn himself had to step down because he screwed up. Win had peeled off to where it was trading in the lower 160. Now look, I'm in the car, so I don't have the numbers precise. But what I will tell you is this. On that Thursday, late in the trading day, Win was down. I think Win was down a couple bucks. And it had already fallen from that 195, 200 range. And hey, look, I love Win. For me, I looked at it like a $30 discount to getting one of my favorite stocks. So that's what I did. I bought Win at 161, 162, and what I did is I wrote that Friday 165 covered call, and I sold that Friday, yes, 24 hours, I sold it that Friday 165, and I think I got 80 cents for it. I could be wrong. I'm probably pointing on the screen what I really did get paid. But the point is, that was going to be over a 1% gain in just a mere 24 hours. Again, my numbers might be wrong here, but what ends up happening is this. We wake up Friday and Win rockets to 167. My shares are taken away at 165. When I get back to California, my shares are taken away at 165. That is an absolute win for me. I pocket the money. We move on. That trade for 24 hours pockets me 690 bucks. Now, real quick, Microsoft. I went ahead using the same idea. I had written a covered call on Microsoft in a couple weeks. So I decided to just write a nice $1 out covered call, picked up a $1 out from the current stock price, picked up 20 cents. I have 900 shares, so that was going to pocket me near $200, and that was just going to be one of those very near-term trades. And look, I have written so many covered calls on Microsoft. If my shares are taken away, I am absolutely not worried about it. I think I have a cost basis now of 88 on Microsoft. So for me, these two trades in less than 24 hours pocketed me over $850 in the pocket. And sure enough, what happens? Microsoft finishes below $99.50, so I keep my shares, I keep that premium. Win rockets above 165, it closes at 167. My shares are taken away. I keep the 165 per share plus the premium. We pocket over $850 in one day. Now, before I let you go, think about this for a second. Win opens up Monday because of bad news down 13 bucks. This is unbelievable. The person that owns my call gets my shares at 165, and they're probably thinking they're going to go into Monday and sell the shares and pocket the difference. Think about this timing. I get my 165 plus the premium. They get the shares at 165, and it's now trading at 167. They're going to open the trading day thinking they're going to make the profit. It's down $13. That person is literally left holding the bag. I can't even imagine the feeling I would have. Hey, look, before I let you go, I have the CTP Dashboard Facebook page. That's where we're doing the off YouTube discussion, conversation, and idea sharing. I want you to go to Facebook, and I want you to like that page. And look, if you have some great ideas, post them up. We're always looking to up our game. Go to CTP Dashboard, download all of the free spreadsheets I offer and the free CTP Dashboard. I upload it every Wednesday with fresh stocks that are killing it in the market. And look, it's a great place to start your research for your next great covered call trade. Hey, look, I'm going to let you go. If you like this video, bang that like button. And look, until next time, I hope all your covered calls are profitable.